Welcome to Coach Heupel's post-game press conference. Coach will make an opening statement, and then we will go into questions. Just raise your hand, and I will call. Coach.
End of the day, good win. Ultimately, found a way to win at the end. Made it close at the end as well. Offensively, you got to finish the previous drive before the true 4-minute at the end. Defensively, you got to get a stop at the end. But knew it was going to be a tough ball game. A lot of unknowns offensively going into it. Didn't know what the defensive structure was going to look like. Early in the football game, we targeted a couple of things wrong in the run game, and that hurt us a little bit. But thought potentially that could happen too because of the unknowns going into it, and then found a way to make some things happen offensively in the middle part of the game, and defensively loved the way we started in the second half. Fourth quarter, obviously, want to play a little bit better defensively. Special teams were solid tonight. So it's a good win. I said it, at the beginning of the week to you guys and to our football team. It's a good football team. They're on the road at Ole Miss, one possession game. Obviously, Notre Dame game gets away from them in the middle of the second quarter, but thought it would probably be a 4-quarter game, and that's how we prepared. And love the competitive makeup. So open it up.
Questions, David?
Josh, along those lines, 3 SEC games, 3 one-possession games. Do you pretty much go into every league game at this point expecting?
Margins are small in this league. You're playing like talent every single week. A play here, a play there changes the way the game is played. For us tonight, we made it tougher than it needed to be at times. That's not taking anything away from them in all areas of the game. And then obviously, when it's a 10-1 penalty differential, you're changing the way the game's played too. So I guess we got to play a lot smarter.
The third down, your third down defense, you see a common denominator in some of the conversions they were able to hit?
Well, first of all, quarterback gets out of the pocket, makes some big plays in long yardage. We're there at times to make the play, and he makes the play. And then a couple of them, we give them some things in our coverage, in particular in zone principles. We're not recognizing, patterns and or bodies changing, who's 2, who's 3, and we can clean some of that up.
Yeah, Josh, you referenced the penalty discrepancy. Were you surprised that there were some calls that weren't made, and then there was that thing you guys would call for a snap infraction, what it looked like maybe it was offsides? What was an explanation you got there?
Yeah, I can't speak to the explanation that I got. Our fans can watch it and judge for themselves what they thought.
Yep. When Deshaun goes down, first off, what's the update on Deshaun if there is one? And second, what is the value of having a Peyton Lewis that could come in and do what he did in the quarter?
Yeah, you guys have heard me say it. I don't care where you're at, how much you've played. Man, you get into this stretch inside the SEC, next guy is going to be called upon, and those running backs have all played well throughout the course of it, and huge run there by Peyton, really down the stretch in late third and fourth quarter. He played really well. Said it to the team, as we were just talking about the game afterwards. Jaden Perlotti, right? Huge play in the football game. He's a part of it. You don't know when your time's coming. You better get prepared, and proud of those guys that were prepared for their moment tonight.
Deshaun, any update?
I don't think it's a long-term deal here at all.
Paige?
Building off of the touchdown by Peyton Lewis, what did you see early in that fourth quarter after Joshua Josephs got the quarterback hurrying? It's the fumble recovery, and then the offense finally complements the defensive stop, and it's with Peyton Lewis. How important was that early fourth quarter touchdown?
Multiple turnovers that we don't maximize the opportunity. Defense creating field position, happened in the first quarter too, and so ultimately. If we can get all 3 phases playing together, we've got a chance to be really good.
Wes, then Patrick.
Josh, the margins in the SEC have always been kind of fine. They've kind of been small things, but some of the results this season, just week to week, when you're studying these teams, you're watching this, is it about as jumbled as it's been?
It is, but I think the structure inside of college football and this league being at the top of the food chain, like, nobody's got glaring holes. You know, everybody's got enough depth to. Somebody goes down, there's another guy in. You know, there might be slight differences, but it's different in that way. Everybody's able to patch their roster.
Coach, a couple guys on defense up before your night. Jordan Ross made a couple plays, had a couple fumbles, and then David Hobbs, his first game back, he impacts the game. What do you think about this guy's impact?
Devin just felt like he was going to play really well. He's come back. Our medical team, strength team, and him did a great job getting prepared for when he was going to be cleared. Played well tonight. Jordan Ross played extremely well off of the edge, changed the football game, and we got great trust in him. His best is still in front of him. I'm really excited about what he did tonight and his continued growth.
Paige.
Josh, you ended up sacking Taylor Green 5 times. Were you pleased with the pressure you put on him, or was there sometimes a mixed bag when he escaped the pocket?
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to – you play a guy that athletic, as you're pushing the pocket, you can feel when you're getting in a vulnerable spot, too, where you're creating a lane for him to get out. So it's always a combination of both. There were a couple times where he escaped outside the backside of the pocket where we should be on the top shoulder, and we got to go make those plays. But he's a good player, too.
Joey Aguilar took some really tough hits tonight, especially towards the end. How important was it to see him come out there and get into victory formation?
Yeah, 4-minute loaded boxes, turn the numbers into our favor there at the end. Want him to get down once the play's over. He just knocked the wind out of himself. So in that way, it's a positive, but I would like him not to take that hit at the very end.
Razzle's been off to such a good start this year. Were they doing things specifically to try to limit him, or was it just a situation where the balls didn't come his way sometimes?
A little bit didn't come his way because of the coverage. Missed deep one early in the football game too, and one in the red zone on back shoulder throw where we're not able to come down with it between quarterback and wide receiver. I felt like early in some ways we were just a little bit off, but there were a lot of unknowns too coming into this one, what you were going to see and how to attack it.
Finish with Jimmy and Eric.
Josh, were there more unknowns with Arkansas' defense or offense?
I think more unknown with their defense just because of changing coordinator, and Chris has done a good job throughout his career, and you didn't know what type of structure was going to show up. It's a little bit different beginning of the third quarter and at certain parts in the first half too.
Josh, do you have an update, if any, on Braylon Staley? And then how confident are you guys to go with 12 personnel and Jack Van Dorselaer?
Another young guy that has continued to grow and prove that he's ready to play. He went out and executed at a really high level. Tonight, you saw the way he impacted the game a couple of weeks ago too, and so continued growth from all of these guys. Braylon celebrating, having fun in the locker room, so anticipate him being ready to go.
All right, we'll have 2 rotations of players shortly. Thank you.
Nope. Okay. I didn't want to do that.
All right, we'll start our player first group here, Miles Kitzelman, Ariana Carter, and Peyton Lewis. Raise your hand for questions and I'll call on you. Adam, we'll start with you.
Peyton, Deshaun goes down, you immediately go in, get the touchdown, get another touchdown. Like, what's the sense of your responsibility when you go in the game in that situation?
Next man up mentality. I mean, that's all I can really say about that. At the end of the day, we trying to play three backs and all that, and we all trying to get touches and go out there and, smash our opportunity in the face. So when Bish goes down, whoever's next, go up, and you got to play at that same type of level. That's all it really is.
David?
Miles, this is y'all's third SEC game, third decided by one possession. Y'all go into all these SEC games expecting it to be one possession the way the league is. And does this feel the same as the other ones did, or is there more relief with this one given the way y'all had the big lead and they kind of made that run at the end?
Yeah, every week, Coach Hodgsley, Coach Hype, we prepare for a four-quarter fight. Obviously, if you want to go in there and knock them out in the first round, no doubt. But we prepare for a four-quarter fight. Arkansas is a great team, great players. And you do play in the SEC, and all the teams are good. So preparing for a four-quarter fight, they came out and played really well. This one doesn't, necessarily feel any different. A win's a win, and we're going to celebrate that and get back to work tomorrow.
Weston and Vince.
Miles, I know y'all got a lot of belief in everyone you got there on offense, but the way Brazel's been playing, and to only have one catch from him today, and y'all to put up numbers you did, what do you think that says?
Yeah, I think that it says that we got a lot of really good players on this team. You can't always rely on one guy. If certain teams are going to double cover somebody, or if they're going to show more attention to somebody, then somebody else has to step up. Chris is going to keep doing him. Braylon stepped up and had a really good night tonight. We have a lot of good players on offense.
Ariane, you guys got some turnovers, got some stops, gave up some yards. How do you kind of assess the defense tonight in the win?
I feel like today was not our best ball. I feel like we played a really, really good team today, a really good offense, a really good quarterback with great coaches. Obviously going up in the SEC every week, you're going to be playing the best of the best. So, I feel like we just got to tighten up some things. And we did a lot of good things also with, I don't know how many sacks. We had 5 sacks and, a couple TFLs on the board also. We're being productive, but we just have to clean up the little things and get everybody on the same page to be even better than what we are right now.
Patrick and Jimmy.
Miles, what was it? How good did it feel to finish the game there on offense in the 4-minute situation?
Yeah, really awesome that, O-line, tight ends, wide receivers, quarterbacks, running backs were all on the same page. Obviously going out there in a loaded box and being able to move the ball down the field is huge.
Peyton, along those lines, how gratifying was it when they stacked the line and you've got to get a first down to run out that clock?
I think, it's really pride-taking when, they try to put everybody on the line and we still go out there and we gain 7, we seal the game, take a knee and, secure the win. But, I mean, at the end of the day, all our plays are touchdown, designed. So we're going to go out there and run them to the best of our ability, and exactly what we did.
Yeah.
Aaron, what did you see from Jaden Perlotti today, and how is he positioning himself to take on a bigger role?
Yeah, you just see a young guy who's very talented, very coachable, that wants to go out there and, give his all. Honestly, it's great seeing a guy like him step up and be very productive for us. And as a young guy continuing to learn and such a talented player, the sky's the limit for him.
David in the West. Ariane, I know you faced him last year, but just the challenge in facing Taylor Green, what's different about him compared to the other quarterbacks?
Yeah, just a very mobile dual-threat quarterback. He's tall, has length, able to move around the pocket, extend the pocket with his feet, extend plays with his feet, and just playing a guy like that who's so mobile and elusive with the ball in his hands, you got to have everybody all on the same page, like I said before, and, playing guys like that make us better as a defense, because you play top-tier talent every week, and a guy like that can only make us better.
Ariane, if there's going to be a game here and there where y'all, give up a lot more yards than you want, more third downs than you want, how important is it that you go out there and, force 4 turnovers and go in there and get in the backfield and make things happen?
It's extremely important, all about productivity as a defense and being disruptive. And, that carries along, obviously, with, getting turnovers as well. But I feel like we got to be able to get stops on third down and get us off the field and get the ball back to the offense as quick as possible.
A couple more for this group. Casey and then Vince.
Miles, is there anything that you saw from Braylon Staley in the offseason that kind of speaks to why he's been able to find success and have over 100 receiving yards tonight?
Yeah, last year from the start, knew Braylon was going to be really good. Obviously had some older guys in front of him and kind of had to wait his turn. But him, Mike, Chris, myself, other tight ends getting extra work in, getting extra footwork in. 7 months of off season, just being able to see those guys, develop and work on the things that they need to work on. And then it's so awesome to be able to see that work pay off. The 7 months of work be able to pay off. And Braylon's a great guy, and he deserves everything that comes his way.
Arian, Coach Heupel said that Jordan Ross kind of changed the game with his edge pressure. Can you talk about his game and his development?
Yeah, just a young guy you can see just developing into a great player. It's already a young, talented sophomore that's just going to continue to rise each week. And, just giving him the opportunity to go out there and rush the passer and set the edge for us on defense is just a great opportunity. And, it adds depth to our defense in which we need that we'll build upon into the season going forward. So it's great seeing a young guy step up like that and be out there and making plays.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.